Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we're having a look at Towerborne. Towerborne is a co-op brawler RPG adventure where you step into the role of an ace. The world is vast, dangerous, and full of mystery and treasure. With your loyal Umbra companion by your side, you'll team up with fellow aces to take on perilous missions and defend the last bastion of civilization. The game's hex-based map invites you to explore at your own pace, unlocking new tiles, missions, and secrets with each run. Whether you're battling powerful enemies, uncovering hidden treasures, or venturing into handcrafted dungeons, Towerborne offers endless opportunities for discovery, making every session feel fresh and rewarding. It also gives you quite a lot of control over how your character looks, which is why we are here. So if you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all this, discover about Towerborne, you can find some links below, and as always, there will be timestamps. Now, let us jump in. I'm going to say right here at the start, there's no male or female customization, not separate at least. You get a body choice right here. And it's basically all the same from the neck up. I will show you that by changing the body over, and you will see that when I do change it. Nothing above the neck is changing. It's just the body itself, and because of that, all the options going forward will be the same on both of these. Okay, know that. And also know I'm using a mouse and keyboard for this. It was clearly not designed for mouse and keyboard. The controls are a little janky, and I will put that in my input. My constructive criticism is that they should respect the mouse and keyboard players a little more and fix the controls up here. I had to search my entire keyboard to find the rotate buttons, which are the two brackets next to enter, below backspace, below plus and minus. That's to rotate the character. That's the only way you can rotate the character. You can't click and drag it. You can't right click middle mouse. You can't zoom with a mouse. You can't do any of that stuff. But with the controller plugged in, it's all intuitive. It's all just on the sticks. So that's one thing I wanted to say right here at the start. It does, however, not change the fact that I really like most of what I've seen here. So let me show you what's up. Let me show you what's available. Again, first up, body types. You get the choice between the female body type and the male body type. They are very similar, much like they are in real life. You know, there's not that much separating us from one another. And from the neck up, same. So we're going to pick just the male one over here and we'll continue. Let's have a listen to the voices. There you go. Decent selection of voices, and as you can hear, your character is not much of a talker. Grunts, groans, cheers, laughs, stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's an important choice. You're going to be swinging your sword a lot. You're going to be stabbing with your daggers a lot. Your character's going to be making sounds, and you don't want them to be annoying, so pick a good voice and keep going. It's also, obviously, worth noting here that all of this stuff can be changed. So if you pick one, you don't like it, you can just come back and change it afterwards, right? So no biggie, but yeah, decent. And it's also cool that they didn't just take one voice and like tone and pitch shift it. Yeah, thumbs up. Next up, skin. I was a little caught off guard by this. I did not expect to see this many colors. There are so many skin tones to choose from. I mean, this top part alone here, while it looks mostly similar, and it is mostly similar, there are changes here, very subtle, and you can see that by the fact that if I go this way, yeah, big sweeping changes. You're going from the lighter one to the darkest one. But when you go down here, at first glance, if you don't have a well-trained eye, it looks exactly the same, but you can see that it gets slightly lighter as you go down. The skin tone is changing very lightly, very delicately. And then just below this big block of the natural tones, or let's just say the human-like tones, you've got the paler ones, which I like, by the way. I always like it when they give you the cooler tones along with the warmer tones, and you can go all the way through to what they would give you as black. And it's good. It's good enough. And like, you know, my argument immediately when I came in here, I was going to be like, hey, what the hell? Why don't you just give us full RGB? Just give us the color wheel to choose the color. It'll be so much more, you know, compact. You don't have to give us this massive list of colors. And then I thought about it for a little bit, and I feel the curated selection that they give us here is better because it allows them to give you a lot of colors, give you a lot of choices, and it does feel like a lot of choices, without giving you the option to completely break the way it looks. Because like if they gave you full, pure, 100% pitch black, it would look kind of weird and it would mess up a lot of the other options available here. So I respect the fact that they gave us a curated experience while also giving us a whole lot of options. I dig it. Okay, so my knee-jerk reaction was like, hey, what the hell, man? So many blocks? What are you... but then I was like, this is actually smart. So they give you a lot of different colors here, right? And they don't hold back. I love that. When any of these devs that make these character creation systems give the player full control and let them do the funny stuff that they want to do, let them do the cool stuff that they want to do, respect them, then yeah, it just makes me happy. And it's a fantastic starting point. You know, you basically start in this whole thing, your relationship with the player that jumps into your game on the right foot. Because you are respecting their choice to be what they want to be. Whether it's green or pink or blue, you know? So there's a lot of colors here, and this might not make sense to you right now. You might be sitting here thinking, why the hell would I want a pink person or a green person or a yellow one or a red one? Well, you will see why when we jump into the next section. So those are the colors available. There's a lot of good choices. I'm not going to pick any of them for the purposes of this video, but you'll still see why they are good to have. And that comes in the form of like noses and ears and extra features and stuff you can put on. It all just makes sense. It'll make sense soon. Just chill. Head shape. I was a little disappointed by this, I'll be honest, because I thought it was going to actually change the head and the shape of the head, and that is something that I would like to see in this. Instead, this is more just the shading and or lines on the face. And I mean, it's changing a little bit, right? But it's not changing all that much. I like that you can put a dimple here, put a frown line there, put a cleft chin in, you know, you can do stuff. Sure. And it does make a difference. You can make a character look older or younger, but it would have been cool if we could have had a little bit of control over the actual shape of the face. That's some constructive criticism from me to the devs. A little bit of control, make it more angular, make it rounder, make it squarer. That's it. That's all you need. You need basically an angular one, so a sharper face. You need a softer and rounder face. You need a standard one. And then you need a square face. And that's it, man. It's just 4 different options. You put those in along with the lines and stuff that you have here, and you are winning, right? Winning. Facial features. Lots of cool stuff here. They give you some vitiligo options. They give you freckles. They give you everything. They give you everything. This is also the makeup zone, I think, where you basically put things like blush on. There's more makeup coming up, but this is a good place to start on that. You can make your characters like nose a little red. You can make their cheeks rosy. This is just a fantastic menu. It's just really cool. And, you know, the nicest part about this, you can get beauty spots and stuff like that. The nicest part is just that, once again, respect. They're giving you a bunch of different options that you could use to great effect. And you will notice as we start here, this is exactly where it starts. They start giving you some interesting, I would call them anime or cartoony options. And that continues greatly into the rest of this character creation system, where you'll basically get a bunch of cool stuff that you can use to make your character look, you know, kawaii or nonsensical or crazy or whatever, like your favorite anime. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I love that they've got this beauty spot. This one, it's like it's the universal beauty spot that everyone has to have. It's always there. So decent options here. Again, big fan of the quote unquote like accessibility additions, the vitiligo and stuff like that. It's like, hey, you're making people feel comfortable in your game. That's good. That's good. It's the same as what I was saying about the skin tones, where they basically respecting the fact that there are different people out there that look different and have different features, and they put a lot of them in there. And this is something that I'd like to see grow over time as well. I'm sure it will. Moving on, we've got the noses. You know, again, cartoon, anime, crazy stuff, whatever. You can take the nose away. You can just remove your character's nose. And I'm sorry, I'm going to jump ahead to show you something quickly, but you can also remove your character's ears. There is just so much fun stuff you can do. And this is exactly what I want to point at when I was talking about the skin colors and all those different shades, the reds, the greens, the blues, the pinks, the purple, whatever. This is why you need those. Because look, you have a bunch of cool options here that stray a little away from the norm that you'd expect from a human face. A little. And sort of make their way into more cartoony territory, you know? And as we go through here, you'll see more of that. And I like it. Honestly, I think that they've done a phenomenal job with it. And they also, once again, just respected the fact that there's a bunch of different people in this world that enjoy making characters, that enjoy looking different ways, that enjoy being a little, you know, crazy and funny, you know, and and adventurous with their looks. Because we've got some noses there, sort of, you know, it reminds me of some of the characters I've seen in Studio Ghibli movies, you know. They really do have a fantastic selection here. And again, they don't hold back. It's sort of like a duck beak or something. Yeah, man, it's like a duck beak. So I'm very happy with this selection. Really cool. I don't even know where the normal nose is. We'll just take this one for now. But yeah, it was sort of lost somewhere in the in the sea of noses. What a funny place to be lost, huh? Moving on, ears. Here, once again, you will see that there are many options and many different ways to stand out from the crowd and to make characters that could be seen as more interesting or different from a regular human being. It starts right here with the basics. Elf ears. Then you have things like pig ears. You have things like no ears, as I mentioned. No ears. You can just go no ears. Big ears, small ears, all sorts of ears. And I actually just legitimately love it. And if I'm not mistaken, we actually even have Shrek ears here. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen that in a game. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. So they let you go a little crazy with it, and it's just fun. It's just fun. I like it. I like it. And again, it's just like there's so much, you know, there's so much. I'll take the elf ears for now. There's just so much, right? Small thing I will mention as I'm going through here. Would like it if there was a size slider. It would just help to, once again, differentiate yourself from other people. Let us slide it bigger, smaller, on the nose, on the ears, on whatever. Next up, the hair. This is a pretty fun section. Big fan of the amount of different styles they have here. We're going to start on the color, though. I want to show you the hair colors. They are pretty much identical to the skin colors, which is really weird. I don't know. Generally, you'd expect it to be a little different, but I guess, I mean, they saved a little bit of time on it, where you basically have all the slightly more grounded in reality choices here. But then you come down and you got these grays and blacks, and then you've got all the interesting colors. And the colors, yeah, they translate quite nicely. You get a lot of different vibrant looking colors here, and it's a lot of decent choices. You know, if you wanted to do something slightly more cartoony, slightly more out there, you have basically all the tools that you need. You will probably have more than you need. One thing I did see is like the colors that you see here are sometimes not exactly how they look here. So, you know, if you are feeling disheartened and you're not sure if it's going to have the exact color that you want, just come and check them out anyway. Because, yeah, you know, it might be there. You might just have to click it first, right? I'll take black because I'm boring and I'm just showing things off. Now, let's look at the styles themselves, because there's a lot of cool stuff here and I'm a big fan. They went for the very straightforward, simplistic sort of... I I'm trying to think of what games I could compare this to. More recently, we had Palworld come up, and they had a very similar system, but they did not have anywhere near as many cool styles for the characters. It is just a straightforward, simple, and satisfying look that is very cartoony, and I feel gives just enough room for detail to make these styles look kind of cool. And it also, again, sort of leans quite heavily toward anime, I feel, which is really nice. You know, that inspiration is awesome to have in your game. It really is. Because there are so many cool anime hairstyles. There are so many cool hairstyles in general out there that you could put on. Like, this one's phenomenal. And like, silly stuff too, like this, you know? Silly stuff. It's so cool. And I just feel like it's the people who made this, they sort of, you know, they must be fun people. Because it's not boring, it's not stuck up. They didn't hold back. They gave us stuff to have fun with, right? I guess I could say it could be nice if they gave us two tones for the hair. Maybe that's something they'll still add. And I do know that there's extra stuff to unlock when you're in the game. I'll mention that in the outro. I'll mention that again. But apparently there is more stuff to unlock. And yeah, maybe there'll be more hairstyles. Who knows? But some of these hairstyles really are pretty cool. Really, really cool. And speaking of cool, we're going to get onto the facial hair and the eyebrows and stuff like that soon enough. So, there you go. No hair physics or anything like that. Not that it is necessary. You don't play too zoomed in with your character. And I really don't feel like there'd be an opportunity for it to work well anyway. This is kind of nice. I really like this style as well. Now, I think that a lot of people at this point might be thinking to themselves like, you know, this is cool and all, but how do I make my character look maybe more feminine or more masculine? Well, I feel like it's a massive like combination that you got to go with to make it work. You might think to yourself that the face doesn't match the hair here, and you might be right. And the way that you sort of remedy that or rectify that, if you see it as an issue, is you will use the facial hair, the eyebrows, the eyes, and the mouth, which is coming up soon. And then after that, obviously, the details. And you'll be able to set some pretty cool stuff up using just that. I'll show you in just a moment. We're going to get there pretty soon. And yeah, man, there are some pretty fantastic styles that I personally haven't seen before. And it's always nice, you know, because I've made hundreds of these videos. It's always nice to be surprised by something that you've not seen. This is a nice texture, by the way, as well. I really like this. It looks so poofy and floofy, you know? It's kind of well done. So yeah, I mean, they've really got the representation in here. They've got the ethnicities covered. They've got a lot of fun stuff. A lot of styles where I would actually stop and be like, hey man, that's actually pretty cool. That's legit. I'm going to take one that is sort of, let's say, there you go, open to interpretation. Doesn't really matter which one we go with. Then we're going to jump on to facial hair. And yeah, there's a lot of facial hair. So for colors, it's the same as the hair, but you can change it. So I'm going to take like, you know, the black one over here and make it the same. But there's a lot of different colors to choose from. And then, as I was saying, there's a lot of different facial hair. So the facial hair enjoyers among you, you guys will be eating good if you play this game. I don't know how much you are going to be wearing a helmet or how much it'll cover up what you've got. I don't even know if you can hide the helmet if there's an option like that. I don't know. That's a really nice mustache. It's like that guy from the little Chiu guy from the League of Legends Arcane show. He has a big... I don't know what he's called, I'm sorry. The name will come to me because there was an entire game based on those guys, wasn't there? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of the name. It's like the Hufflepuffs, the Cholos, the Chulos, the Churas, I don't know. The Chonkers. I don't know what they're called. Bandletale, a League of Legends story. Are they called Bandles? That was the name of the game. Anyway, they had a mustache like that. But these are really cool styles, right? And you'll see some of them have sort of more texture to them, some have less texture to them. And the reasoning behind having such a big variety is that you obviously want something that will match the hairstyle that you pick. So, yeah, you will have all the choices available. And hopefully you'll be able to make a decent selection based on that. But they are good beards here. I don't find, like, it's not often that I can sit here and just nod and be like, yeah, they did good with the beards. I don't know why, but the last few games that I've had a look at have just disappointed me where beards were concerned. This one? No. No, I am quite happy with the selection. Next up, eyebrows. Once again, speaking of being happy with the selection. Colors, exactly the same as the hair, once again, so we'll make it the black. Right, so it's the same, you got all those colors available there, but let's look at the different eyebrows. There's a decent selection here. I love the big bushy brows. And then you will notice as we go down here, there are a bunch of normal looking ones, but then we actually get to a point where there are some really, really cool cartoony ones, like these ones. It's sick. It's just sick. It's just so fun, you know? The game just doesn't take itself too seriously in the best possible way. They let you have fun with it. You know? They let you have fun. And that's cool. And I think that'll probably be the name of the game where this stuff is concerned. Fun. There you go. That's the eyebrows. Now we're going to move on to the eyes. So there's a lot to do here. There's quite a lot to do here. You can change the size of the eyes all the way. It's actually got some sliders here, and it goes up pretty high. You can change it to the small side of things. You can change the distance. And this is where you can sort of make or break your character, right? Height. There you go. Rotation. I felt like the rotation should have started in the middle, much like the others here, right? Because it makes it look more natural. But this, you've got those, and you can combine it with this. And this is where I feel you truly start choosing whether your character is going to look more masculine or feminine. Decent number of choices here. A lot of emotions that you can pick between, right? There's just a lot going on here. And I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of like it. Again, didn't take itself too seriously. That's one important point. And also gives you a decent variety, you know, in terms of what you want to go for. Whether it's like, you know, just attractive or funny or crazy or serious. And then all the different moods along with that, you know, there's just so much. And like, obviously some of these that are like massive already, and then you can pull the size even bigger. Oops, I just switched off. You can pull... Oh my god. That's terrifying. But yeah, just know that they can all be modified, and there's just a lot going on, right? So there's fun combinations to pull off here, and I am sure that people playing this game could probably come up with some really, really, really cool and fun looking characters. Because as I said, that's the name of the game, huh? That's the name of the game. Alright. Now, I don't even know where the default one... That looks like the default eyes over there. Then, as if that wasn't enough, you get to do the iris details. It's just another layer that I personally... I can't even begin to fathom how much goes into this. The idea is you get to do the size. Okay, that's the entire size of the... And then that already alone gives you a lot of options. But let's take it to the normal one. Then you get to do the color, right? Same colors as before. You get a lot of different options. Let's take something bright. Like, let's just take a blue, right? That's kind of nice. But again, you've got the same options here. You've got basically everything at your disposal. Then, however, you can pick from a whole lot of different stuff. You can remove them entirely. You can have some squigglies here. Keep in mind that some of the eyes that we looked at just a moment ago don't actually have the irises there, so you won't be able to see them. There's some moons, some stars, whatever the heck that is. It's like a hex print or something. A lightning bolt. You can have the demonic black eyes, snake eyes, or is that cat eyes? It's one of the two, I don't know. And all sorts of other different symbols and stuff in here. And yeah, once again, more real estate allows you to customize more. So bigger eyes, more to see. This is like the Final Fantasy Lalafell eyes. There's a heart. A lot of really cool stuff here. I'm impressed. Thoroughly impressed. And then also just the basic, like, cartoony looking options. Like, I think that one's actually just pretty straightforward and good. You know? Kind of nice. So yeah, you can really go crazy with this. Next up, the mouth. This one is interesting. Okay, so there's yellow selected over here. I'm not sure why yellow is selected. What happens is when you pull the slider for the saturation, the lips actually disappear. Like the lipstick disappears. So you have to turn it, then you slide it, and then you select it again. So it's opacity is 0, the saturation. You move that up, and then you select it again, then you'll see it. right? So the saturation thing, what happens is when you touch the bar, it just turns it off entirely. It must be a bug. I'm sure they'll have fixed it by the time you play this game. But anyway, for the purposes of this video, let's select a nice bright red for this. It's always a good choice for your lips. And let's look at the different options available. Saturation is full. And just know you have a full slew of colors to choose from. Not the brightest of bright, right? But, I mean, it's alright. You still get to choose a few different options here. And it still makes an impact. There you go. And again, the saturation, yeah, pretty important part to play in that. Right? There you go. Our final stop, details. Pretty fun stop, this one. So this one is basically a combination of tattoos and war paints. Right? Lots of good stuff here. Unfortunately, not a lot you can edit on them. So it's a what you see is what you get kind of situation. Now, for the purposes of doing this, I'm going to select a slightly darker skin tone. Just so that we can actually see what I'm busy working with. Because you'll notice a lot of them are like slightly brighter like this one. And it doesn't look so good on a white tone. Which is why I say it would be cool if we had a control over the colors. But it's whatever. There are some good options here that are supposed to be sort of natural, like this one as an example. This is sort of to make your character look more cartoony or whatever, these shadows around the eyes. Then there are a lot of interesting face paints and stuff like that. However, I do look at these and I think to myself, again, it might be cool if we had like 2 layers for this, you know? Or if we had a little bit of control of like where they are. Because things like these, you know, the eye makeup, I guess you could, the mascara, I don't know what you'd call this, I don't know. But things like the makeup, you'd want to move it around. You wouldn't always want to move the eyes to match it. Sometimes it'd be cool to match it with the eyes. But regardless, there are some really nice options, some colorful choices that you can make here, and then some slightly crazier, more out there choices as well. It's cool. It's cool. As an example, like this one, for instance, it would be cool if you could change the color on it, because there's obviously a lot of different colors available, and sometimes you'd want like a blue one, or a black one, or anything else. So a small thing, but yeah. Could help out a lot to make it better. I call this the Greedfall Naught tattoo. God, I remember that. I remember that. But there's a decent number of choices here. And you can see they've got their own style going, by the way. I mean, I don't need to tell you this. You can tell that this is sort of... It's their own little world here that they've created, and they've custom made a bunch of cool face paints and stuff that, while they may look partly or somewhat familiar, a lot of it seems to be like, you know, world-based or lore-related stuff that you will probably learn more about when you actually play the game, and that's kind of nice. Unique designs are always nice. There is a lot of these eye sets with different colors and different shapes and stuff like that, and that's cool. So it's a decent selection, but I'm not entirely sure most people will find like something that they would resonate with there. And for those people, they might want to jump over to the battle marks, and you might find something better for yourself here. This is sort of like scars, but there are some other bits and pieces here too. You don't get to change the color again, so if you're going for a paler skin tone, this is kind of pointless, but it can still work, and you can still find something decent here. And there's a good number of choices. Good number of choices with bigger scars, smaller scars, and so on and so forth. And that does actually bring us to the end. So yeah, I'm a little sad that there's no randomize. It would make me very happy if there was a randomize. And yeah, we're in the outro. Guys, this was fun. This was really fun. To get the criticism out of the way, I will say that the controls for mouse and keyboard kind of suck. They could definitely improve that a little bit. There are a few small things that I think could be improved upon in this. But overall, it's really just pretty fantastic. And I think the word that I would go with here is just fun. It's just fun. As I mentioned a moment ago, there are a few points where basically it would be nice to have one step further. In other words, on the battle marks, the scars, it would be cool to just change the color tone of that so you can use it on lighter skin tones. On the face paint, it might be cool to move it around a little bit or something like that. And here at the end, I'd love to be able to randomize to see all the different options just thrown together, you know, in a jumble. So we could see what's basically possible or available. But overall, man, this was really a fun system to check out. And I like that they respected the players and they respected the players' choices. They gave us so much fun stuff to work with, so many cool options, and they didn't really hold back with it for the most part. They just said, hey, here's a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different choices, make whatever weird and wacky creations you'd like to make, and just enjoy the game. That kind of respect, you know, oftentimes devs are too scared to do it. I like to see it. So thank you guys. It's awesome. The dudes at Stoic, yeah. They know their players, and they know them well. So I kind of enjoyed this. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I do think that, man, again, one or two small things. I mentioned at the start of the video, I'd like to see an option where you could maybe change the face shape, the structure of the face. Give us maybe an option of a softer looking face, rounder, a more angular one, a squarer one, and so on and so forth. Just to help mix things up a little more, because at this point, everyone has the exact same shape of face, and it feels a little weird. But other than that, man, wow, I love it. And I hope that they keep building on it. I hope that they keep working on it, because I'd love to see where it ends up in the future. So, hey, thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for making such a cool system, Stoic. I thoroughly enjoyed having a look at it. This is awesome, and this was great work. And I think most people will be very happy with what they find here. So, check back here soon for more. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Find my links below, my coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. And hey, if you're jumping into Towerborne, hope you guys have a good time. Happy that.